Hello, all you positive heads out there. It's so good to be back with all you beautiful reflections of the one source consciousness that creates and animates all things. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we're super happy to have you here. And if you've been listening and enjoying for a while, I would be super grateful if you would please take a moment to give us a review on Apple Podcasts. It's one of the best and simplest ways to pay it forward and help others find the show so that they too can tap into the powerful perspectives and positive vibrations we are collectively emanating. The other unique and magical way to share this show is by sending any friends you think would benefit from listening to this podcast our Game with the Universe link at positivehead.com/game. Also listed in the show notes, which will serve them up a quote-unquote random episode when they click it. Just instruct them before clicking the link to close their eyes for a moment and sincerely ask the universe to cue up the episode that contains the insight and perspectives that they most need to hear at this point in their life journey, and then click to listen to whatever episode is synchronistically served up to them. I have heard time and time again from people about the incredible results they received playing the game. So just tell your friends magical results are guaranteed or their karma back. All right, all you positive heads, welcome, welcome. Here we grow again. So glad to be back with you for another day to explore, probe the possibilities of creation and how to best navigate that. Hope you're doing a better job today than you did yesterday. You know, I think that's really what it's about, is like the only competition is with your former self, right? How can you do better today than you did yesterday? And that really starts with like small changes, small shifts, small perspectives, and building on those. It's so easy to get caught up on, I need to be like this other person. I need to go from A to Z in like a week or what have you. And it's just not realistic and it's not fair. So yeah, I hope you're making just a little bit of effort each day. If you can have those little wins, really do wonders for our brain and the chemicals that we release. So find ways to have those little wins for yourself and check boxes of little wins. And, of course, a big part of doing that and to lightening the load, if you will, is getting rid of old ideas and patterns and perspectives that no longer serve you. And a lot of times, that's a big part of what this show is about, right? Shifting perspectives to allow more space for magic to unfold, to create levity, to enlighten ourselves, to lighten up. And a lot of times, that is more, Rumi said it well. He said, recognize that unlearning is the highest form of learning. And so what are some of the things that we can unlearn today? Well, one that I want to talk a little bit about is this idea of forgiveness. So, you take the human journey from resentment and anger to getting better at forgiving others for, supposedly what Jesus said on the cross, his last words, according to the Bible, is, or one of the very last things he said is, forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. Right. And so beautiful idea, right? Here he is being hung on a cross and prodded and stuck supposedly in the side with a spear and, all these awful atrocities. And he's saying, forgive them. They're acting in ignorance, and that idea is beautiful. I mean, forgiveness is beautiful. And I believe we can transcend forgiveness. And what do I mean by that? Well, when you fully understand the nature of the situation in which we find ourselves, you understand that there's really nothing to forgive from the greatest and grandest view. If we can zoom out and become our highest self and our God self and see and experience reality through that lens, it takes out the job of needing to find the path to forgiveness, because you understand that, the darkness is really just doing its job, right? Think of in terms of an animal's behavior, right? When the lion is attacking the gazelle, is it now having a moral dilemma about what it just did? Or is it doing its job? It's literally been programmed and created for that purpose, right? It's part of the dance that the dance of the design of life and creation. And so let's think in terms of someone doing harm, or think of like I can't remember where I saw this sometime not so long ago, and it was talking about like evil entities, and it painted it this perspective, and it kind of hit me, and that very interesting to think about, thinking of it like almost like an animal. It doesn't even understand necessarily, well, what's wrong? Why are you mad at me? I'm just doing my job here. It has a job to perform, and a cancer cell has a job to perform versus a healthy cell has a job to perform, and it's like, this is part of the dance of duality that we're immersed in. I mean, we are deep in the dance of duality. The earth plane, the physical plane is like, we came for this dance, right? Before we continue on with today's episode, for those of you interested in getting more fantastic fungi in your life, I want to take a quick moment to tell you about a friend of mine's brand new company, The Great Mother. Recently, I have been drinking the Great Mother's superfood mushroom coffee alternative called Ritual, as well as regularly taking their awesome Ally microdoses, and I am truly loving both. As you probably know, these days, many of the world's highest achievers and performers swear by microdosing. The problem is it can still be difficult to get a hold of magic mushrooms. That's why when my friend reached out, who lives in an area and country where legalization is not a problem like it was in the past, and said he'd be willing to offer microdoses to my listeners, I wanted to pass the word along. Ally microdoses are 100% organic. And in addition to a small amount of the magic active ingredient, they also contain functional mushrooms like lion's mane, cordyceps, chaga, and other brain boosters like bacopa. Ally is essentially a full spectrum nootropic. And of course, the coffee alternative Ritual doesn't contain magic mushrooms, but it has an array of the best organic functional mushrooms in the world. And, with functional mushrooms, it's really important to get them from the highest integrity sources. And whereas some other highly popular mushroom coffee alternatives on the market only contain a few varieties of functional mushrooms in their actual ingredients, Ritual has 7. Not only does it contain more types, it also contains 3 to 4 times the amount that the big brands have in each serving. And it tastes amazing. I actually like to have it on its own, as well as mixing it into my coffee sometimes as well. However, since this is definitely a unique offering, there are a few steps. First, just reach out and request to follow the private page, thegreat.mother on Instagram. Once you've been accepted to follow, just message what you're interested in getting and someone will get back to you. So understanding, everything is unfolding as it should. And I actually saw this, I believe he's a comedian. This, if I'm recalling his name, is Pete Holmes, talking about this. And he's saying, he was talking about forgiveness versus mercy. He was saying mercy is the next level of forgiveness. And in really, kind of a lot of these concepts, like recognizing. In this little clip that I saw from him, it was great. He said, "Look, recognize it is you. There is no other. We are the same. It's really just a dream, and I'm the dreamer and the dreamed rolled into one, and it's here helping me to learn who I am." So, the opportunity in that, when we're faced with this act that requires mercy or forgiveness or an elevated perspective on this supposed, quote unquote, external happening, is understanding like this is an opportunity for me to behave how I want God or the universe or consciousness to reflect back to me. I'm going to be the way I want to be treated, right? And so it's like it gives you an opportunity to demonstrate, I believe the universe will always reflect back what you're putting out, right? And so how you treat others, it's how the universe is going to treat you. You want salvation, so it's an opportunity to give it away so that you can then have it for yourself. You give away what you want, right? And so realizing there's really, from the grandest perspective, and I know this is, there's a time and a place to feel whatever feelings and emotions are certainly coming up. I'm not saying don't feel and push it away. If you're feeling angry, express that anger. There's nothing, it's all perfect. And the quicker you can get to the place of transcending the need to forgiveness, or as if there is such a thing from the ultimate perspective of right and wrong, you ultimately get into a place of understanding like, oh, wow, at some level, even if it doesn't feel good, and I'm not prepared to embrace this, I can at least understand that at some level, a thank you is always in order. And moving into that merciful, transcendent state, we actually get the opportunity, I believe, to break the karmic loop. You look at all these wars and back and forth of things, and a lot of that sort of thing going on right now on our planet, right? I believe there's a lot of karma there that is playing itself out over lifetimes and generations, and in deep ancestral stuff, and beyond this even life, between the souls that are really caught up in the middle of it, right? And we're all in it to varying degrees, right? It's all a reflection of us. It's degrees of separation. But if we be what we want, we just stop with the story, stop with the telling the tale, labeling this is right, this is wrong, the victim and the perpetrator, and all these stories. And we just, in this moment, drop into being what we want to receive. I believe that is the path to breaking all the karmic loops. That is the path to literally becoming your higher self, your divine self, your expanded self. And yeah, it is easier said than done. I get that too, and that is the work, right? That's what we came here to do. One of my favorite quotes, the Mike Tyson quote: "Everyone's got a plan till you get punched in the face." And when we get punched in the face, this all sounds great, and it goes out the window. And guess what? That's okay. I believe we'll continue to get the opportunity to get better and better and better, and get those stronger sea legs as we get hit by yet another storm. And next thing you know, at some point, we are a skilled sailor because we endured so many rough seas, right? So, yeah, that's my thought for today. That's what I'm sharing, and that's what I'm striving and aiming to live and be more fully in each and every moment. And I believe you are too, or you wouldn't be tuned in and resonating with this vibrational offering, this message. So congratulations. It takes a big, big person. It takes a big soul, a big heart, to continue to open your heart, to continue to pronounce and exude unconditional love. It is the energy that will ultimately transcend and heal all trauma, pain, I believe, and propel us into the next greatest and grandest version of ourselves, individually and collectively as a species. That's my story. I'm sticking to it, keeping it short and sweet today. Hope this has done you well. Thank you for tuning in. Oh, I do have a song. This is Dillard. The song is called OSHA. Cool song, cool artist. Hope you enjoy. Till next time, journey well.